On this episode of VLGA Connect, we talk with Stephen Wall, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the City of Maribyrnong. Keen to get a sense from Steve on how the organisation has mobilised to deal with operational issues and keep staff informed during the COVID-19 situation. So, Stephen, I'm interested to hear your reflections after a week or two of dealing with COVID-19 on how your organisation has, I guess, geared up to respond on a day-to-day basis, particularly to those organisational planning and staffing issues.
Hi, Chris. Yeah, it's been a really challenging few weeks for us all. And I guess, in local government, we're pretty good at planning for future planning, strategic planning. We're pretty good at that. But when you don't know the parameters that you're working to, it's been really, really difficult for us all. I've got to say, like most CEOs in local government, I'm surrounded by really good people. We've got good staff that are highly skilled, and when they need to activate in a particular way, they do. So, I would start by commending the staff at Maribyrnong City Council who have really, stood up to the challenge and are doing some amazing things. We were, like most councils, our use of technology had set us up in a good way in that we have the ability to work remotely. We've got a lot of staff that have been working remotely over a period of time, but then to ramp up the whole organisation. So we've rolled out probably another 400 or 500 SIM cards across the laptops that we've got to really lift the whole opportunity for our organisation to operate and work remotely. And it's interesting. I guess I've been in local government a long time, as you've been around the scene, and there's always been that view that face-to-face meetings and motivating staff. It's really important that you're all seen and you're all working together and under the one roof. Well, in the last couple of weeks, it's really shown me that you can remain active and engaged with your staff in a remote environment. Every morning at 9 o'clock now, our business continuity management team meet every single day at 9 o'clock. And, there's 15 or 16 of us involved in those meetings. And so just getting those protocols together so that we're not talking over the top of each other. Yes. Everyone's getting their opportunity to speak.
On the business continuity side of things, we all know a plan's only as good as it is when you have to actually put it into action. How have you found you've been set up to respond through that business continuity planning focus? Anything surprised you, or anything you thought, geez, we perhaps could have foreseen that in advance but didn't?
Probably not surprised me. I mean, the plan is rock solid. I think councils are pretty good at business continuity planning, and I've been really pleased to see that our business continuity plan and the many sub-plans and the pandemic plan that sit within the BCP are current, are absolutely applicable to what we're dealing with at the moment. And again, getting back to the staff are the key to any plan implementation. And, again, I've been really, really pleased at how well informed our staff are and have been, and how quickly they've mobilised and activated their sub-plans. Wow. And again, I think, as you say, every plan, can be improved. There's never the perfect plan. So we have found some minor bits and pieces. Like this conversation around essential services is something that we've been spending a lot of time on, and we hear our Prime Minister and Premier talking about, stay at home unless you're involved in an essential service. And for us in council land to work through the very many and varied services we provide and really identify what are the absolute essential services. Our BCP gives us a pretty good indication, but we found a few services, like, for example, after hours services wasn't noted as an essential service. I guess, we've all done a lot of tabletop exercises around business continuity plans and testing them. This is a really unique set of circumstances around. We just don't really know how long this is going to last. Yeah. And we're not really clear on what the picture is at the end of all of this. When you talk about a business continuity exercise around, if you lost a building, I think we can all have a view on what the outcome looks like when we get to the other side. COVID-19 is really stretching us all around thinking, what is the end point, and what are some of the other things that we're going to have to deal with?
You're right. We don't know how long it's going to be here. I guess there's an issue around being able to keep up what you're doing in the early part of things. I know you've been communicating with your staff virtually on a daily basis as things change. How important do you find that in terms of a communication tool? And do you think it's going to be necessary to keep that up if it goes for 6 months, or is it about rethinking and adapting along the way?
I don't think we can ever communicate too much to our staff particularly. And now we've got so many staff working from home. I must admit, the daily email that I send out, and I did set that as a bit of a task early on. Well, early on. We've only been in this environment for sort of 2.5 weeks, but it feels like we've been
longer. Yes. Yeah.
The responses, I often get staff replying to my daily update, and the positive and complimentary nature of those responses around thanks for keeping us informed. And and I know you get to see a lot of the emails that go around because you are on our audit committee, but sometimes I'm scratching for really anything new to say, but I still think it's important that we throw a few lines together. We're all in this together. Keep reminding our staff that we've got a function and a role to play here. The pressure on all of my staff over the last few weeks cannot be underestimated. I think we're making this stuff up as we go along, Chris, and I'm happy to admit that I don't have the rule book, and I love working from precedent, and guess what? There isn't really anything we can look to at this point in time. So it has been a really big challenge. I think we're all struggling to fully comprehend what all of this means, and not just that. We have many people in our community and many people on our staff that are deeply concerned about the health implications of this virus. So not only are we dealing with keeping the ship afloat and keeping the work and the services happening, we've also got a lot of mental health challenges there with people having to deal with their own families, issues around childcare, and we're fortunate at Maribyrnong. We haven't had any confirmed cases of COVID-19 in our staff ranks at this stage, but that will come, I've got no doubt. And we're all in this together. We're all just trying to look after each other as best we can.
You make a really good point, because often emergency management or crisis management is about dealing with things that perhaps not everyone has got first-hand experience with, but this is one that touches everyone. Steve, thanks for talking to us. I know your style. I know your open communication with your staff will be really being appreciated. Hope you can keep it up for the long haul if that's necessary, and appreciate your insights on VLGA Connect. Thank you. On VLGA Connect, we've been speaking with Stephen Wall, the CEO of Maribyrnong City Council. We'd like to hear from you if you have something you'd like to share about your experiences with COVID-19 or more broadly around the local government sector currently. Get in touch with us at vlga@vlga.org.au, and we may see you on a future episode of VLGA Connect.